Yo, so guys, welcome back to another video, and today, you're looking at a map of, well, if you know geography pretty well, this is the map of the United States. Hopefully you guessed that. And today, we're doing something a little bit different, and by different, I mean a new series. This is going to be called Paint 3D Thursdays, so, as the name implies, we are on Paint 3D, as you can see up here in the top left corner, and it will happen on Thursdays. So, what this is going to be is we're going to see what an alternate, I guess, future of the US would be if the government fell apart and all 50 US states were independent. So, let's get started, shall we? But first, before we begin, some things happen when the US government falls. So, let's say the US government falls. One day after, 3 states fall. Those states, if we go to gray down here and go to the fill tool, those states are going to be Louisiana, Mississippi, and West Virginia. These following states fall because they have a very poor GDP. So these states, well, aren't states anymore, and they are just open land to once their states. Now, surrounding states see this and go to the government in Washington, D.C., and to see what's happening, but when they go there, it turns out that there is no government, it's just Washington. All the other states begin to panic and realize that they're independent countries. So let's begin. First, some alliances are going to take place so that other states will not fall. This is going to start with the South. Obviously, 2 of the 3 states that fell are in the South, Louisiana and Mississippi. So the other South states are going to make an economical alliance to not fall. So a bunch of states go to Atlanta in Georgia, and Georgia starts the alliance. Now, not all of the South states are invited. Only a couple go, and all the states that went end up joining the alliance. So these following states agreed and went to Atlanta and formed the alliance. So Georgia, Alabama, Arkansas, Tennessee, and South Carolina all are now in an economical alliance to make sure that they will not fall. Now, the reason South Carolina joined is really to counteract North Carolina, just to be safe if the Southern Alliance, or SA, begins to become a military alliance or an economical and military alliance. The next alliance is going to be up here in the Rocky Mountain regions. And a bunch of states, well, countries now, go to Boise in Idaho, and they begin to have an alliance. The following states join that alliance: Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, and Kansas. You may think that that is a very big alliance and that it would be overpowered, but these are all very rural states. Most likely not be able to beat anyone. They're very unpopulated. And this region is going to be called the Rocky Alliance, or RA. The final alliance, so far, is going to take place up here in New England. These following states, a bunch of the states up here go into Boston and begin an alliance. These following states join the alliance: Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Vermont, and New Hampshire. Those states are now in an alliance called the New England Alliance, or NEA, which is also going to be an economical alliance. So all the alliances so far are economical. And that is going to be all of the states that are going to be in an alliance. So let's go ahead and get rid of the colors. And now there are going to be open space here. So let's remove the border, because why not? Now, something else that happens in this open land is New Orleans turns into a city-state. So they are now a city-state. And they, in fact, actually join the Southern Alliance because they are a brand new country and want to get ready for anything to happen as a country, as a new government. So Texas sees this and starts mobilizing, and all the other Southern Alliance states begin mobilizing. And Texas goes in first. They start a push and go in here and stop right here. So this now is all Texas. Let's remove the border because it's Texas now. And here we go. There. So this is all now Texas. Now Arkansas wants some, so they sweep in and take some. So now this is all Arkansas. Over here, the only following other bordering states that haven't got land is Alabama and Tennessee. So Tennessee goes in and takes that. And all of the other following land will be a part of Alabama. And you know what? To be nice, let's give New Orleans a border between Alabama and New Orleans. There we go. And then I forgot to erase this. And now this is all Alabama. There we go. It does look messy, but obviously it looks weird because it's different, but it'll hopefully make sense soon, more soon. Obviously the next state that fell is West Virginia. So now they actually, so if you don't know, some history for you. Why West Virginia is called West Virginia is because in 1860, I'm pretty sure, when Virginia was the two, it was a I actually don't remember when, but it was a southern state, and when the South was seceding from the U.S. to create the Confederate States and begin the Civil War, West Virginia didn't want to join Virginia in joining the South, so they got statehood and stayed with the North. But to this day, Virginia and West Virginia still hate each other. So, West Virginia did eventually obviously fall. So, all of West Virginia, is going to be a part of Virginia. And there we go. So, this is the current map of the US, 11 minutes in. Now, we're going to begin some wars. First of all of the other hatreds in real life are going to be in this. So I'm actually going to list every single enemy. California and Texas, obviously. Ohio and Michigan. New Jersey, New York. North Dakota and South Dakota. North Carolina, South Carolina. Those are all the enemy states. And tensions begin to rise between Michigan and Ohio. Ohio sees that Michigan will invade because they start mobilizing, even though they haven't begun war yet. So Ohio makes an alliance. Ohio calls up Wisconsin, and they make an alliance. And now, Michigan declares war on Ohio. Then Wisconsin declares war on Michigan, and since Michigan can't fight two fronts, they call up Minnesota. And Minnesota joins the war just to counteract Wisconsin. So, over here, Michigan starts to invade a little bit. And while they're mobilizing, Ohio again calls up another buddy, Indiana. That's the wrong tool. Indiana joins the war and declares war on Michigan and Michigan's sort of ally, Minnesota. So, Michigan now knows that Indiana is joined, and they start invading Indiana. Now, their plan is to wrap around and also attack Wisconsin, and they do wrap around to the Illinois border. Up here, Wisconsin is done mobilizing and starts an invasion on the Upper Peninsula. Obviously, there are no troops up here. There are a bit, but not a lot to counteract Wisconsin invasion. So they take over the island fairly easily. That works. And Minnesota starts an invasion. A little bit. They start an invasion. Basically removes the border, and they start an invasion. Now the Wisconsin army is split into a third. So the Wisconsin Army, let's just say it's 100, is going to be divided and turned into 3/4, so 75% of 100% of their army goes to Minnesota, and the rest 25% is going to invade northern part of the Lower Peninsula. So they start sending troops over here, and they start getting on a boat to go over here. Let's go back down here. Michigan accidentally invades a bit of Illinois, and they say, well, we can get Chicago. That makes Illinois join the war. And while Illinois is mobilizing, Michigan captures Chicago. Now, Michigan is very powerful, as you can see, but Ohio, Indiana, and Illinois finally start getting done with their mobilizing, and Ohio pushes over here and begins to get into Michigan. Same with Indiana. And Indiana cuts off the Michigan army in here. Minnesota sees this and starts to go down, and they do very fast because Illinois didn't see this coming, and they go all the way to Chicago. Now Wisconsin is finally over here, and they start cutting off the troops at different angles, and Wisconsin takes back Chicago, and they destroy the armies over here. This army is very powerful, as you can see, but eventually the army surrenders and it goes back to blue control. Up here, Wisconsin starts a little invasion. Obviously, it's 25% of their full army, so it's obviously not big, but they do begin. Over here, they start to approach Lansing, which is the capital of Michigan, and eventually, actually, let's do a close-up. So, I'm going to say that Lansing is right here, and they start going over here, and they are on the border of Lansing, and this is the most deadliest battle of the war, the Battle of Lansing, and eventually blue wins. With this, Michigan is very weak, so they surrender. Minnesota seems like they messed up. So they surrendered because the only reason Minnesota joined was to counteract Wisconsin because Michigan held them under their rule. So let's go back here. And this is going to be the now border. I didn't mean to do that. This is going to be the now border. So, first of all, Wisconsin gets all of the Upper Peninsula. And if you're interested on what this war was called, this was going to be called the Peninsula War. How about that? Because, well, they're fighting on peninsulas. There's two of them. So, Wisconsin gets the Upper Peninsula, and they end up getting, that's the wrong color, and they end up getting this little piece. Now, I'm going to say Lansing is right here. I don't know if it is, but let's just say that it is. So, Indiana and Ohio don't want to be mean, so they will not take Lansing, but Ohio does take Detroit, which was around here. So that is now the current border between Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan. And for Minnesota, the blue team, which was obviously this, know that Michigan was sort of like, you're going to join the war. It's not a choice, you're going to join to counteract Wisconsin while I'm fighting Indiana and Ohio. So they're not fully mean. They only take a little bit of land. They only take a little bit. So this is now the current border. There we go. And up here, this little bit. Now the capital of Minnesota is not, this is St. Paul. This is Minneapolis. They are not under Wisconsin control, just like how Lansing is still in Michigan. So this is now the current border. And finally, as we remember, there was the Rocky Mountain Alliance, the New England Alliance, and the Southern Alliance. And now, Ohio and Wisconsin make an alliance. And the following states join the alliance: Indiana and Illinois. These are all of the states/countries that fought in the Peninsula War. And I forgot that this is part of Wisconsin. So this is now the alliance map. Now, if we get rid of all the colors, this is now the map. So Michigan is salty, very salty, because they got bodied in this war. Minnesota didn't really get as much land taken away, but they got some, because, again, they did fight in the war, so. And remember that this is a part of Wisconsin, because this is as far as they got. They got a little bit farther, but that was all that they willingly took. So this is now the border of the United States. And again, there's the Rural Alliance, or the Rocky Alliance, I should say. It is rural. It is very rural, but it's not going to be called that. It's going to be called the Rocky Alliance because the Rocky Mountains roll through most of the states in that alliance. There was the Southern Alliance, there was the New England Alliance, and the newly Wisconsin, Ohio, Indiana, and Illinois to make the Midwest Alliance. Nope, Midwest Organization. I'm sorry. This one is not going to be just an economical alliance. It is going to be an alliance, meaning that it is going to be both an economical alliance and a military alliance. Anyways, guys, that is going to be the end of this video. I know this was sort of long. Actually, here, I created a Google Doc of all of the sort of alliances, enemies, and, things like that. So enemies, California, Texas, all of those and alliances. You can go ahead and pause and look at that if you want. And here's the map again, the current map. And remember, this part is Wisconsin. So anyways, guys, that is going to be the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed this video. This is going to be a series I'm creating. So yeah. And I really hope you guys enjoyed. And I will see you all in the next upload, which will be Sunday. Next Sunday. Bye.